The studio back then was pretty much exactly what you see here now. My connection was my good friend Paul Hornsby. Paul had been a member of the Hourglass, which was a precursor to the Allman Brothers Band. He got the call from Macon to come produce records and play as a studio musician. And so I said, I better get over to Macon, Georgia and see what it's all about. I started getting some calls from my friend Paul to do some session work. I got a call to play on Greg Allman's first solo record, which was Laid Back, was the title of the record. There began to be these jam sessions that would occur. You had Dickie Betts, you had Barry Oakley, Butch Trucks, Shamo, Greg, of course. After about 2 or 3 weeks, I was asked to join the band. And so Brothers and Sisters came along when I first joined the band, and it just exploded. This was attracting other musicians to come into the city. You had Marshall Tucker Band, signed to Capricorn. Wet Willie was making their mark, and Charlie Daniels, who was not on Capricorn label, but recorded here several records. So it just kind of snowballed into this mega record-making machine. I do recall a session we were doing where, I forget exactly what happened, but Dickie Betts got excited and made some kind of motion, and there was a beer, and it spilled right onto the console. And we're all going, oh my God, no, 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 and we're expecting smoke to come out and everything, and they shut everything down immediately and cut it off. And thank God, they let it dry out, and we were okay. We rolled along quite nicely for a number of years until about 1980, when the label began to have difficulty, financial difficulty. And it broke our heart to see this, because this was such a magical space. And to see it all fall apart, it was heartbreaking. And then along comes Mercer University, along with some other dedicated music fans and developers. Thank heavens they preserved the actual studio building, renovated it, except to leave Studio A and the control room pretty much as is. My dear departed friend Greg Allman told the people involved, don't you mess with that room. That room is magical, and I'm glad they didn't. So it's just so wonderful to have this thing look just like it did back in the 70s. There is a museum component to the building. There's also live tours that can be done, but we also want to see the future. We want to see young artists come in here and make music, and that has been happening. You think about Capricorn and the Allman Brothers Band and all those bands that we mentioned as being Southern, and of course we are, but when you get outside the South, there's a great interest of music that comes from here. I work with a lot of British musicians, and hey, from Paul McCartney, and of course before he passed on, John Lennon, and I worked with David Gilmour, and even Pink Floyd, which is a whole different kind of music. They still know who the hell Otis Redding and Little Richard are, and they're all influenced by the roots of music here in Macon, Georgia. Is so important. It's a part of the community. It's part of who we are. Some of us had a chance to kind of shape that a little bit into what eventually became known as Southern rock. It was a real honor and a joy, and still is, to be a part of that.